Hello, my name is Apipol and I am the academic coordinator from the International Academic Forum. And today I am in Tokyo for the 16th Asian Conference on Education. And joining me here today are the IAFOR Global Fellows. Would you introduce yourself for us, please?
Hello, my name is Hongmin Ahn. I work on Japanese and Korean Buddhism in a contemporary context.
My name is Yanhua Zhou. I'm a professor of art history at Sichuan Fine Arts Institute and also the affiliate faculty of East Asian Studies at the University of Arizona. What I'm doing is socially engaged art. So that's art history, the global socially engaged art in the transnational context, and Asian infrastructures from the affective perspective.
Given the panel presentation this morning, it was a very interdisciplinary panel, and that's titled Community Engagement and Education in East Asia, from Preservations of Cultural Heritage to Practices of Contemporary Arts. Now, since the panel is very interdisciplinary, I'm going to address some question to some of you, and some question will be to both of you. So first one, I would like to go for Hongmin then. It's about integrating technology in cultural preservation. So how can emerging technologies, any kind of technologies, or artificial intelligence be utilized to enhance community engagement or educational initiatives aimed at preserving cultural heritage in East Asia?
So a lot of people think, this development of AIs or new technologies or antitheticals to like a traditional the heritage preservation. But I would like to think that it's a creative destruction that's going to rewire things, and it's going to create another sort of community that's eventually going to can be exercised and utilized to for the preservation activities. So it's a creative destructions, meaning that it's going to create new opportunities for the community to engage and sort out, and eventually they will always find some there's an ingenious way to make the preservation keep happening.
Now, how can educational initiatives in East Asia effectively balance the preservation of traditional cultural practices with the incorporation of contemporary pedagogical methods?
Yeah, actually today, this morning, I think one of the audience asked me this question, how to deal with the cultural heritage during the community engaged art. I would say that actually, because we're in East Asia and we have a lot of cultural heritages and we have a long history, and the contemporary art somehow reflected this cultural heritage and history. So when artists are doing the contemporary art, most of them try to revive this kind of East Asian cultural heritage, like what I mentioned this morning, the art collective Handshake 302. They took their participants to work on the historical towns to find the cultural heritage of Shenzhen, which we used to think it's the youngest city in China, but actually it has its own cultural heritage.
So the questions about the modernity and then traditional. So this will be very this is always be a timeless questions of how do we balance that. Obviously striking the right balance will be up to the members of the communities who are making the community, because as community change, traditions are destined to change as well. So I think as a scholars, it's really important that we communicate with the communities and then see what they and then try not to impose anything on them, and then respect their decisions and respect just the flow of the time.
So how can contemporary art serve as a tool for engaging communities and fostering identity formation in East Asia, particularly among the underrepresented populations?
Thank you for this question. This is what I'm doing, because I'm doing the social art type is called socially engaged art. with a very special focus on East Asia areas. So I've been seeing a lot of art cases that are dealing with the minority issues, the group of people who are underrepresented. So the project I'm doing is on the migrant workers. So they are underrepresented. And some of them are from very remote rural areas, very poor, but they want to find a job in the cities because they want to earn more and to support their families. But in the cities, they are outsiders actually. So how to help them identify themselves and how to help them to have a sense of a community belonging is what these artists are doing, and this is what I'm doing the research. And my research actually is very socially engaged. I'm not the scholar who are in the studio or in writing and reading. I want to try to be a public scholar, and I want to really engage with the community. So I used to give lectures in the migrant community groups, and I used to work in the primary schools. Yeah, so that's my experiences to answer the question.
So this one is about global citizenship through local initiatives. How do local community engagement projects contribute to fostering, wider global citizenship and promoting education for peace within the broader international context?
So I personally think in order to engage with this international collaborations, within more broader discussions, dialogues of international discourse, you first need to understand what's going on in your own communities and what's happening in your own local the communities. So having that understandings will prepare you to engage in a more broader discussion. So I don't think this international dialogue I don't think it can possibly happen without understanding what's happening in your local areas or your own community.
For me, I think local is always related to global. So there is not only the local itself, exactly local. Local is always a part of a global. From the cases I'm doing, the project I'm doing, and the artists I'm interviewing, I noticed that even if they're doing local community engaged, but it involved a lot of international artists, participants to join in the projects. And we even talk about some issues very internationally, for example, like international intimacy. So what does that mean? Means like, nowadays, for example, like the families, because of a work for each couple, so they have to be separate, but they are a family. So how do they deal with this kind of their intimacy, and especially the cross over the globe? So that would be also the very new issues for us to think. So yeah, that's my answer. I think local is always related to global.
So this one we are talking about leadership in community engaged education. What leadership strategies do you think are essential for effective implementation of community engaged education programs that can address either cultural preservation or social transformation in East Asia?
But ultimately, as a scholar, just respect for the community and the respect for the community that you work at or the community that you research on is obviously the basis of everything. Because without respect, you will never be able to understand the community. And that your research will never achieve something in your research without having that respect. So start with the respect and then build on and then engaging through your academic work with other scholars, and perhaps they will give you more clear understandings of your framework and the way you proceed your scholarship.
I think respect is the primary thing, because we're not God. Yeah, don't think you are a God when you engage in a community, because you are outsider. Even if you are growing up in this community, but you don't think about you are a God, you are saving people. No, you don't have the rights. So respect is the first important thing to engaging in the community, and then collaboration. I think you should show your attitude is, I'm trying to collaborate. Yeah, I'm trying to collaborate and not like teaching you or telling you something. And I think that's very important for the leadership. Don't think about you are the leader. Think about you are a collaborator, or the people who want to dialogue with the local people.